Nice big fountain I can soak my hat in, and then soak my head, which I've been admonished to do so many times. Now this is the remains of the St. Joseph 17th century church or cathedral. I'll explore later today to see if I can get inside that somehow, not that there's anything to see. And this also is the exit through the south gate. And I just thought I would give you a running view of that. Even in the hottest part of the day, it's nice and cool. Out through the outer part of the gate. Presumably some of this is actually original. That's the first time I've seen a keyhole gun slot, which looks like it was designed for cannon and gun. It also looks like we're sitting about 2 to 3 feet above the original grade for that. This, of course, is where the wall appears to start to go up the south side of the hill. These are probably counterweights for the old door that used to be in here. I've never seen those before. 29 November. That may be the date of the Nazi liberation, I don't know. So what we're walking on right now, of course, would have been not cement, but some kind of something that could be pulled back, a temporary bridge, so that this moat continued right to this wall. This is presumably how the south gate has always looked. The other day, as a curiosity, I came walking by and there was something that looked like a black statue in the water, and it was absolutely still with some fish hanging on the back of it underneath the water. And then I realized that it was a scuba diver who had chosen this place as the place to do his fishing with his gun. And notice this rock here. Doesn't it look to you like a seal? You can see its head on the left, and then its left flipper continuing right down and including that rock, and then its tail slipping around there to the right. I can't see this closely, but presumably it has the winged lion symbol of St. Mark, which apparently is the symbol of the icon that is associated with this town. An early form of chain link. So this gives you an idea what it's like each day to walk into this old town. It feels very authentic. Of course, much of it's rebuilt, if not all of it. I'm now on that first balcony that overlooked, or that ran over the top of the arch we walked through. I don't know what these things are here in the hostel. They're used to put little knickknacks. All this is, I'm sure, a reconstruct. And a little bit of closer view of that raised iconography, whatever it is. And this footage represents the beginning of my walk through the town. It'll probably take me a couple of different days to do this early in the morning. And I'll try to do it in the evening for that feeling, which is totally unique. This is somebody's home. They're looking out the window right now wondering why I'm here, but should be fairly obvious. And it's a pretty little garden area up on top, a mix of garden, and then it segues into this wall. There we have just another view of the entryway. Rooms for rent, of course. Cats abound in the Balkans, whereas dogs abound in Mexico and other places. Here's some shops and the typical water fountain that people can drink out of. These narrow little hallways that march up the hill to other people's apartments. Here my hostel, Old Town Hostel, and just before it, a alluring entryway. Now imagine if your house is just up here, and if you had a little patio space like that house we saw a few moments ago. To me that would be a lovely place to live. And many places look like they still are not used for modern purposes. Old doors always are interesting to me. They're like diaries, except they don't tell us anything. The first of many little squares. Just to orientate you, we've moved from number 3 on the right through the walkway, which goes past number 30. You can see here a blue circle indicating the location of the hostel. Now I'm standing right where the line goes across the square. Right there, kind of in the left side. And there in the background, on the map, you can notice number 60 or number 21. That's St. Tryphon's Cathedral, 1166. This is the right tower if we were in the front of it looking at the cathedral. And everywhere there are little alleys going off or little walkways to other parts of the town. I'm going to try and slice this from the east side towards the west, so we're going to go on this small little walkway here. This is one of the accesses to the fortress. You pay €3 to the man sitting here. There's one at the other end of town. They come together at a certain point, and then it's one trail up and one same trail back. It's just lovely to walk this kind of streets when they're quiet. Shutters, a European thing, are everywhere present here, except on this lower floor where you can see they somehow got in the way and were taken off. There's that same tower, St. Tryphon's Cathedral. We're going to pass behind the cathedral, which as you can see has been well restored. Not the first time, I'm sure. And this building, older, not restored, lived in. Shutters unpainted, lots of holes from things that have hung on it before. Pieces of metal hanging out from the same purposes. An old wall. And here we come to St. Paul's Church, I believe it is, 1263. Notice this half arch that's used. I think it's perhaps functioning as a buttress for that part of the St. Tryphon's Church. Later in the day, I think you can walk down through this. This is the standard device for trash removal all over the Balkans. But why all these bags sit here like this? And this is the way it's done. Sometimes in some cities you'll just see huge piles of trash surrounding these things, and apparently it all gets picked up. Now we're coming into another little squarelet, for lack of a better term. There, an interesting walkway and a vaulted walkway through that building. This building, apparently an Austrian prison during the middle of the 19th century, when the Austro-Hungary Empire controlled this. It's gone back and forth for centuries.